Daylight to all. Giving all the glory to God this morning. I'm going to praise Him this morning. Because I know God is real. My God. I know He's working. I know that everything has a purpose. Whether I forget, get frustrated, don't understand, feel suffocated, there's a purpose. Hi, girl. Sniffles. I know that God has a purpose for me. I know all my isolation was for a purpose and still is. Because at 31, I am wise. I am knowledgeable. I am independent. I don't tolerate disrespect. I'm not a pushover. I'm strong. I am not scared of the world. I face it. I'm not a coward. Things have become very purposeful in my life. Whether I once didn't understand, whether I like it or not, it has become unnecessarily. At least in this world, if we believe that God is going to equip us, keep us safe, how do you think that's going to look if we have our own will? If we're not robots, if we can control our lives, how would that look exactly? Well, it would start from the beginning of your lives here. Remember, for me at least, down, I've always knew the strength in me. To say that there was never any strength, that I had to build it. No, there was. Just like I had a voice, had two legs, 2 feet. I just have to use it. That's what he's given me. Right? That is what being thankful. But I still have to use it. What's in that stomach? Babies? I give him all the praise this morning because I know what he has done for me in my life. He has made my life purposeful. That everything that I've gone through has come to something. That I can understand the meaning. All my isolation wasn't for nothing. I become a version of myself. Whether I like it or not, whether it's the highest version or not, it's a version of myself that is necessary. Living in a world without my father, I would need some discipline. I would need to be okay with being alone. And I'm okay with being alone because I would have had to wait regardless. Being on a mission, on a journey, that I'm not quite home, and I can't do nothing about that exactly. I can't just release myself. I can't just go back home. On top of that, your memory is renewed. You may get bits of pieces and dreams, but the dream is not saying, wake up, you know? The dream is not saying you're in a dream. It's just a knowing, a deep pit, of something missing, and then you go seeking. You start to realize puzzle pieces start being put together because of that deep pit. I'm in this world. I'm in this world without my shepherd. How do you think his protection would have showed itself? Would still allowing me to be who I am, still allowing me to be human, still allowing me to experience the world and bear witness to it. Enough to where it's like, okay, now I can make the decision. Now I know what's out here. Now I know how people are, but still keep me safe enough. Isolation is key. Whether it was you doing the isolation or somebody, whether you took it as punishment, it was your security. It was my security. I didn't have friends growing up because I was never outside. I was never able to go anywhere. Well, it helped me while I was an adult because I wasn't going to go too far or really anywhere. I was going to be right here, confessing, testifying. No, but I should have been out there being a busybody, right? I should have been out there living my 20s and doing Lord knows what. I did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It wasn't fun. It wasn't all that. It wasn't pleasurable. It wasn't I don't know what people's talking about. They just do it for the heck of it because it's not even fun. Doing drugs and having sex with this and that person, it's not even worth it. I mean, for God's sake, you're endangering your soul, your body, right? You get sick, you get infections, diseases, you get those scares, you may even get it. Your body may not even be able to fight it off. You better hope to God. This is what's out here. You really thought that my common sense and at least my father was going to allow me to stay out here and be in my rabbit mind? No, that's not even who I would want to be. Look inside my heart. That's not even the type of person I am. But I can still do those things because I'm thinking this is what I'm supposed to do. This is the tradition. You grow up, you meet people in your 20s, you marry them, you have babies, you settle for that. Or you turn 18 and now you're on a dating app and you meet people and you have fun. If you can, but you try to find those things. You're seeking it. Right? That's normal and quote unquote life. If it was life, it's like, yeah, we come of age, we start to branch out and, find ourselves and we're curious about life. But guess what? In this life, they have drugs waiting for you. Guess what? In this life, they have STDs waiting for you. But naive you, right? Oblivious you better hope God's covering you. You better hope God's covering you. And you better hope that sooner than later you make that decision for yourself to say, I am more than this. I deserve better than this. I'm not even in a relationship. I don't even have deep connections. I should not be risking my life. I should not be risking my flesh. I should not be risking my sanity. That's it. Because once you catch a disease, that's for life. Those sort of diseases that don't have cures, that's for life. This is not an infection where you can just take a little pill and it clears up. And then next month you get it again and it clears up. I mean, that's alarming to continuously get it. Your body's trying to tell you something. Whoever you're with, whoever those people are, however many of them are, something is up. Something is screaming at you. It's obvious. It's your body. And I'm sure it's your spirit too, your consciousness. Like, they're like, are you a whore? Or are you a whore? Are you, like you're you might, like you're giving your body out like a whore, right? Your conscience would be screaming at you. There should be conviction. And don't let the money keep you in that darkness. Don't use that excuse to say, well, I felt the conviction, but the money was what blinded it, what shut it out. Please don't be that person. Wake up sooner and later, because you never know. Condoms are not safe. People pop condoms. People will take it off. Truly. People will take them off without your knowing. And people don't even want to use them. Strangers at that. All you have to do is watch people's actions. But watch your actions. Keep ourselves awake. Keep myself awake. I'm not in a relationship. Why should I be giving my body away? Not everyone has the great intentions for you. Why should I just be giving my body away? Because of my needs. My needs can be met by my own self if it's that serious. And it's not that serious because it's only a second, it's only seconds of pleasure. Then it goes away. I want everlasting joy. I want something that keeps me in joy always. Meaning that temporary pleasure is not even worth it. It's not worth regretting. It's not worth anything. You can wait. I can wait. We don't tempt ourselves, right? Clearly, if we're tempting ourselves, well, but how about you start asking questions? How about you start getting to know these people and you'll realize you're not tempted anymore? Start having conversations to see. Ain't nothing attractive. You're turned off. Hmm? That urge went away. So in 2026, I give glory to my Father because I know my life is purposeful. I could have been left, but He kept me straight. However, He did it, I'm here. If He said He was going to get me here, if He said He was going to promise me a bright future, I can see it because I'm on the straight path. I've gotten here when I could have been all over the place. I could have been still following the world in a way. But my conscience kicked in. My conscience is saying, why do I need social media? I've had it for years. I mean, what do I need it for? What do I need Instagram? At this time, I had Instagram, Snapchat. I had Facebook, was never on that. And I believe that was it. Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook. Why do I have these things? Oh, because that's the normal things. That's what society is. That's what we're doing right now. But my conscience was like, something came to me like I don't want this. I wasn't thinking necessarily, oh, this is what God would want. You and God should be aligning. Like I'm of God, so I'm gonna feel some way. The moment that you step outside of yourself, you're gonna feel it. The moment that you make a decision that's not moral, you're gonna feel it. If I was gonna make an unmoral decision, I was conscious of that. If I was planning to go into the world, show myself, I was conscious of that. But that thought was still there. It's not quite me. But I was gonna do these things because that's what the people in the world say to do. That's sort of normal in a way. Put yourself out there. Take some more pictures. I'm not even a picture person, but I was gonna do it. But then there was that thought. It was either go all in or throw it all away. And we know what decision I made. I chose me. I chose my soul. I didn't choose the system. I didn't choose money. I didn't choose opportunity. I chose to just stay right here with my father. And by that, I was able to see him through me, have time for him, speak to him. And the whole time I was speaking to myself. But the whole time I was confessing truth rather than out in the streets, rather than out on a date with what I think is a businessman. Because let's be real, you go from 18 or 19, 20, your early 20s, thinking that you're going to meet someone decent on a dating app. So when you let that go, you're thinking, okay, what's the next step? Let me go out there and actually meet decent men. But and that was a conscious decision. Waking up early, like, all right, this is what we're going to do. But that was a no no because my intentions weren't going to be as pure. Mm-mm, no, because I would have been with the intent that I'm gonna deal with not just grown men, but men that have some sort of power, I suppose, right? Some sort of money. Why would you be dealing with a poor? You don't know who you dealing with on a dating app. You could have literally pulled someone off from the streets. Lord knows. Mm. So common sense would have told me, okay, let's go out there and meet some decent gentlemen. That would have been my next step consciously. It would have made sense in my mid 20s. No, I woke up I had dreams at 23 and 24, and that was it. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to remove myself. I was going to go away because I didn't need any of these things. None of these things reflected me. And instead of going further away from who I am, further away from God, into the hands of men, into the hands of what the world had, I did not. So it saved me because who knows? Who knows? A girl like me in the hands of the streets. Not only that, but this is Atlanta. Lord knows how many people walk in STDs, especially to be in that scene. What are your chances? Yeah, you may not be in a dating app anymore, but what are your chances? Very high still. Most of everyone are on these dating apps. What are the chances? Still very high. The rate of homosexuality and brothers being in the closet, what are the chances? Very high still. You get it? I made the most wisest decision. And I don't regret it. At the age of 24, I made a vow to close up my garden and wait for my father. I closed the garden, the fountain. Yeah, I closed it. I made a vow. I said, I'll wait for you, Father. He knows what that means. I don't have to say nothing else. I no longer had Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Nobody had access to me. The few people that I had as a contact, I deleted. There was no deep connection ever. And I made this vow so there was no sexual connection gonna happen. I was no longer putting myself at risk in that way. And that saved me trouble, fear. I no longer was ever gonna, I made a vow to never drink neither or smoke. If I ever done those things, I made a vow to never do those things again because those things are not good for me. Simply. That if I'm going to drink wine again, let it be in my father's house. Let it be new wine. Let it be fresh new wine, godly wine. So it really just left food for the enemy to maybe try to get me with. And I'm a foodie, always been. Never had to watch my figure, you know? But now in this isolated space, less active, less going out, things like that. My food is my comfort. Food is good. And I've been very conscious about that. Very conscious about how, all right, there's no problem with eating as much as you like. Eating abundantly. Girl, eat, Baby, eat. But what are we eating? If I'm going to restaurants and having my meals be processed all the time, take out, cheesecake this, cheesecake that, not only, but I am living more of a slower lifestyle, it's going to start showing. it's going to start showing. Not only is it going to start showing, but it's unhealthy. And now I'm putting my health at risk in that way. Still not safe enough, right? Still having my health in jeopardy somehow because I've been on this roller coaster of, I guess, simply being lazy and not taking the initiative to cook my food. Some people have a year of that in their lives, whatever age that was, where all you really ate was takeout, Chinese, pizza, seafood, like Jamaican, wings. That's okay, you know? You gotta wake up though. you better you better snap out of it because you're gonna blow up like a balloon. I started to see myself start blowing up within a quick span. But I know why. It's not because something's happening and I have thyroid issues. No. Once I get home from work, I'm ordering food. Once I eat that, I'm sleeping. Then I got to get up, go to work. Once I get home, I'm ordering. Then I'm going to go to sleep. So these things are packed with calories and sugars and oils. So we know. And within 3 months, you done gained 40 pounds. We weren't taking the initiative to go walking, walk it off like a person with common sense. No, because it weakened me. I fell asleep. It put me in this sort of state every time. And I'm like, why am I so exhausted? Every time I eat this food, why do I fall asleep like a freaking greedy monster? Like a greedy fat monster, like I'm becoming, you know? I didn't need to Google these things. You see, I live alone, so these things probably are known already, right? People already had their phases, and I'm now just coming to witness it through me. And so it's just like, huh, there's something in this. Of course, we know there were always some things that you don't know what people are putting in their foods, but it's that one thing that I know that was enough for me to wake me up. Is something, some sort of drug, something in there that knocks me out every time. They call it a food coma. That's not normal because we can cook our food and still have energy. I can cook some rice. I can have some chicken or fish and put a little jerk on it. What else we buy from takeout? You can make a pizza. It's not the same. You can also make your own and not gain so much weight. So there's so many things. Sorry, I went like this. So there's so many things that was so obvious because nothing else did it. I was never gaining weight before this. I was always average. And you're and people, right, tend to stay their sort of average weight. It's not necessarily normal to gain so much weight in so little time. You would usually gain that weight within a span of years. But with a lifestyle like that, that's exactly what's going to happen. So I may not be risking my life, say, sexually, right? But it still finds ways. Still finds ways. And it's not even that I'm using food as comfort in a sense. No, food is just comforting. Still need to eat. And if I eat, I want to feel comforted, right? If I'm eating, I want to feel satisfied. Yeah, I've never been like what they call it, a gluttonous or glutinous person. No. It's just that I'm in a state of isolation most of the time now, where food is a conveniency. But I go outside, I'm outside for hours. I don't need nothing. And it's not even just adrenaline, it's just I don't have a problem with food. It's just a conveniency for me. Not even a conveniency, but it's what I've been choosing to eat. If I'm choosing to eat takeout 4 times in a week, what am I expecting? And I'm not doing my daily walks as I should, or my daily exercise, my movements, because oh wait, I'm so tired. And then before I know it, I got to get up for work. And I may be doing a 12-hour shift. The last thing I want to do, well, the first thing is feel satisfied. What's so convenient? Because I don't have enough energy. I eat. But in this situation, I'm not even cooking my food. And I love to cook. The art of cooking. I'm not over here about to be making no baked ziti, baked mashed potato, baked spaghetti, baked macaroni. No, I said I just love to cook. I love the art of it. I'm chopping carrots. I'm enjoying that. Like I love the art of putting things together, making things, creating things. The smells, cutting some onions, dicing some garlic. Because I feel like when you say, oh, you love to cook, they say, oh, what do you like? What's your favorite dish? Cutting vegetables, eating vegetables. You don't have to do much with that. Throw that in a pot, okay? Stir it up, boil it, steam it. That's it. If you eat fish, steam the fish. That's it. Throw little vegetables on it. Squeeze a little lemon. There. I love it. The art of cooking, the art of, you know, enjoyment, the love you feel. So I love that part. And I'm over here having my phase with, you know, takeout. And my highest self is not someone that does that. My highest self is not someone that's doing that, knowing that it's a problem to our skin still. If we have sensitive skin, that definitely was never going to help it. And now we have another problem to worry about, our weight. That's it. Problems still arising somewhere. And the next step would have been health problems. Let little Jose over there gain weight and he'd be okay with it. Nothing's ever okay with that. You want to be healthy. That's what I mean. I've had common sense, you know, enough to wake me up if I was, stuck in some sort of loop. Something pulled me out of it. Like, okay, you can make excuses and say you're spoiling yourself all day, but when you look in the mirror and you're having these pimples and this bad skin, can you really really swallow that and say that we're really spoiling ourselves when we order our cheesecake after a 12-hour work shift every single day? Alize, that's not something that we done years ago. And years ago we looked good. You know what I mean? Like, this is not God's cheesecake, so there's consequences to this. Not only that, it's not even your cheesecake. Make your own. You see, consciousness, like, it's kicking in. Because again, it only takes 3 months, and it only takes 3 months. It doesn't take a year. There's signs, there's signs, there's signs. And your common sense kicks back in and is like, okay, And it's usually going to be that way because when you live alone and you're teaching yourself and you're raising yourself, that's the only way you're going to know if you realize it. No one's like, girl, you better put that down. Girl, you looking a bit heavy. Girl, that's not healthy. To remind you. You know, people say, oh, you got to keep yourself motivated. You got to surround yourself with motivation. You got to, you know, that's true. It is true. And so there's a pro and con to that because it's like, living with people, you're very self conscious about things in a sense. And if you're not, they are, meaning they're not going to allow you to just eat everything in the fridge. Someone's probably even monitoring it. Someone's monitoring the front door. Like, who at my door? You think you're going to order this, order that? Mm-mm. They're going to find out where you're getting all this money from. Okay, you could pay a bill, then you could pay two bills. So, there's a lot of things that keep you sort of disciplined, sort of keep you awake, reminded. But when you're on your own, you got to do that for yourself. You have to find that willpower. And that goes for any sort of comfort that you've attached, that has attached to you, that you've allowed attached to you, that you're keeping attached to you. You see, and it's not just the enemy, but most people will use it because in a way there is an enemy. The people that make these things, the people that are putting these toxic, addicting ingredients in it. So yes, those sort of enemies indeed wanted to get you, right? Wanted to get me. They could not get me through alcohol. They could not get me through drugs because they put it in these drinks. They put it in, these substances. They put it in the food. And they were trying to get me. They were trying to get me with the food. Look at your grandparents. Look at your aunts and uncles. Look at your ancestors. Look at your sisters. Look at you. Some of us have been victim to it. Some of us have blew up. Some of us, have health issues now because of it. Some of us have died just because of what we put in our body. And then here I am confessing real life, nipping these things in the bud like, I no longer drink caffeinated teas because it dehydrated me. But I didn't know that. But now I do. You see, that's a life lesson learned. That's it. If I ever go to tea, I'm looking for caffeine free. Caffeine was never good for you anyway. And if it was, let it be natural. Let you get a natural coffee bean, a natural chocolate bean with caffeine. But you're not going to even abuse that. It's not going to be something daily that you're taking, each day. Excuse me. And with tea, especially in the colder months, well, tea lovers, we sip tea year round. But um, in the colder months, that's a daily thing, right? It's like hot cocoa for some. But if it's all caffeine and you already don't get your water taken, you're done. You're depleted, right? So it's like a life lesson learned on your own. Now we can go and Google it and be like, I'm sure it was the tea. Was it the caffeine? And long and behold, they say, caffeine is a diuretic or something like that, or and it's just like, yeah, I know. It's true, guys. I can back this doctor. It's true. I witnessed it. So now you have to work on that. And yeah, so a lot of life lessons, and you wouldn't really trade it for nothing. It is what it is. Um, you learn. That's all that matters. You learn from it, and so that goes with everything. You did not know, but now you do. you do better. You know, these things are highly addictive. There's a reason why people go back to it. You cook your own food, it doesn't make you feel like that. If anything, it's a bit more bland. It's just like, you might need to add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You also don't really feel that full when you cook your own meal, unless you're literally going for seconds. But you know, and that's fine because at least it's healthy. You know what the ingredients are. But when you have a meal cooked from the outside, shoot, it's putting you to sleep. And that's 10 pounds right there. You know, it's crazy. It's like witchcraft. Exactly that. Right? Like while they're concocting this, they're like, whoever eats this will be fat after, will gain 40 pounds in 3 months. And they will come back to this. They will order again and again and again for 3 months. And our results will be in. I believe it. You know, and there was not that long ago, I believe, Arby's. I hate to, say, I should Google it. Anyway, there was a restaurant at one of these fast food chains where an employee actually spit in a woman's food and she caught herpes. What are the chances? Oh God. She caught herpes off of someone's saliva. Like, dang, did she kiss the burger too? You know? Did she rub it all on her lip? Did she get a little bit of puss and crust on the bread of her sandwich? Because God, that was quick. You know, I don't know. It was quick enough to know exactly where she tracked it back. Like it might have been just less than a week, and she like, hold on. What made her go back and check this person? That was nothing but God. That was nothing but pure instinct. Because what are the chances? I'm sure she has a husband, right? And long behold, indeed, this woman spit in her food. Is caught on camera. The employee seen it, and she had a outbreak. Like it was visible on her lip. Things like that wakes people up. There's so many different signs to wake up. Whether it's happening to you, you're gaining weight, you're breaking out, your skin is terrible, your limbs are swollen every time you eat those things, you're never satisfied, you're having fatigue, you're having brain freeze, it's all fuzzy, you forget a whole lot after eating these things. And consciously you feel disgusted after. So then you got stories like this. And you're always thinking in the back of your mind, did someone spit in my food? Because they could have, and I wouldn't know it. So, I mean, people spit every day when they talk. People spit just because they talk with their tongue. People spit because they're a spitter. They got so much saliva in their mouth, they don't swallow it. People sweat. People sweat, I'm sure, has been dripping in our food numerous times when you think about the truth. especially those chefs. They're back there in the heat. All you see is sweat on their face. And they're leaning in to decorate the plate and try the food in the pot. And, all you can do is hope to God that is, your food is safe. But that's what you get when someone else is making your food, right? So I've heard the call. I've heard the wake up call. Like to continue this, no, this stops here. It stops here. And I've done it. I've done it already. You know what I mean? Like I've stopped. I've said no to drugs years ago, way before COVID. I said no to sex way before COVID even happened. I said no to alcohol. Alcohol is a drug, but way before COVID happened. I don't have a problem saying, I don't have a problem when it comes to, living a better life. This is just one of those things that has come up and that I nip in the bud, right? Like, oh, if someone was like, oh, nothing's wrong with fast food or nothing wrong with fast food every, 3 times a week or going, they'll say, oh, going out to a fancy restaurant to make it sound better. Unless everything is steamed and boiled in just water, because you don't know how long the grease and the oil has been there. You don't know where this oil is being produced. You don't know who supplies them their food. You don't know if it's natural. You don't know if they, you know, if it's trusted ingredients. So you can say, oh, it's a fancy restaurant. There's nothing wrong with, yeah, right. Okay. But that's what I mean. I'm just going to have to say no. I'm going to have to put restaurants and food that I don't make or I can't see being made on the list of on the list of my vows. That's it. Better safe than sorry. And I'll leave it there.